You know, most stories are told by the people who lived them. But what if the story was told by the one thing that was there for every single mile? For this explainer, we're going to hear a tale of adventure and friendship from a completely different perspective, the object at the very heart of the journey.
And there it is, the voice of our narrator. It isn't a person, it's a bicycle. With just that one line, we're pulled into this really nostalgic memory, told from a point of view we almost never consider. So this isn't just a story about a boy and his bike, it's a story told by the bike itself.
So where does it all begin? Well, it all started on Christmas Day back in 1954. An 11-year-old boy named Randy, who the bike says was all knobby knees and determination, found his new partner waiting for him in the garage. And from that very first moment, with a big red bow on the handlebars, a decade-long adventure was officially on.
And the bike knew right away this wasn't going to be a simple life of just, lazy trips to the corner store. Nope, Randy treated it like a trusty steed, a real partner for exploring what felt like the vast frontier of 1950s San Diego. For them, the 8-block ride to school, that was just the warm-up.
Yeah, those daily rides and the thrilling games of bike tag, they were just the beginning. Things escalated, and pretty quickly into something much, much bigger. Together, Randy and his bike set out to map their entire world, to really understand their city, one street, one neighborhood, one canyon at a time.
Balboa Park pretty much became their second home. They explored all its museums, coasted down to the zoo, and you better believe they visited every swimming pool and rec center they could find. The bike knew the routes to all these places by heart, a silent partner on just countless expeditions.
But, beyond the parks and the museums, there was another mission, a more peculiar one. And this is really where Randy's unique personality shines through, setting him and his bike on a path that was very, very different from the other kids his age.
So while all the other boys were busy collecting baseball cards, Randy was on a completely different kind of quest. He was obsessed with finding errors on street maps. So together, he and his bike rode down every single street they could find, and instead of collecting cards, Randy collected the names of contractors that were stamped into the fresh sidewalks.
And this just sums it all up, doesn't it? This is the bike's perspective. It saw its rider's quirks not as weird, but as wonderful. It's such a simple, affectionate summary that just captures the deep bond between them. A strange, wonderful boy on a mission and the bike that was going to carry him. And this partnership wasn't just some summer fling. We're talking about a full decade. For 10 years and literally thousands of miles, this one bicycle was Randy's constant companion, carrying him safely through the streets of San Diego as he grew from a boy into a young man. And in all that time, covering all that ground, they had only one accident. Just one. A driver just flung a car door open without looking. The bike took the hit and they both went down. But, they were tough. They got right back up. A real testament to their resilience and maybe just a little bit of luck.
You know how every great partnership has its defining moment? Its ultimate test? Well, for Randy and his bike, that test was the Point Loma Challenge. The single most ambitious, most grueling ride they would ever attempt together. A 10-mile journey to his grandparents' house.
Okay, let's trace their path. Just imagine this. They pushed up 30th Street, then turned west to conquer the hills of Mission Hills, then coasted down into Old Town. From there, they headed south on Rosecrans, just steeling themselves for that final, brutal climb up Armada Terrace. Whew, you can almost feel the strain in every single pedal stroke.
And they made it. Totally exhausted, but they did it. The bike's chain was hot to the touch, and Randy's legs were literally shaking from the effort. It was a huge victory, but one that came at a cost. His grandparents, very wisely, took one look at them and just drove them both home. Even a faithful steed knows when it's been beaten by a hill.
So after a decade of adventures, all that map-making, and that one epic climb, what did it all really mean? Well, in its final reflection, the bike reveals its true purpose in Randy's life. And it was a purpose that went way, way beyond just transportation.
See, the bike, it wasn't just steel and rubber. It was Randy's freedom. It was his wings, his survey equipment for his mapping projects, and his getaway vehicle in games of tag. But above all, it was a silent, essential partner in the whole act of growing up.
And it all really comes down to this one powerful, simple summary. The bike's role was just profound, to carry a boy through his entire childhood. Not just across a city, but through time itself, one single pedal stroke at a time. A whole decade of life, powered by determination and 2 wheels.
And that just leaves us with a final thought. Because while this story is Randy's, the feeling, it's universal, isn't it? It makes you think back to your own childhood, to that one thing that gave you your first real taste of freedom. So it makes me wonder, what was your faithful steed?